Live from the AOK Production House. Inside of studio number 2, I'm Nick O'Kelly.
And I'm Derek Daisy.
And you are listening live to the Echo Radio Show.
Whoop, whoop.
You don't hear whoop, whoop much anymore.
I say it around my house.
It was a big saying. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, whatever did happen to that. Yeah,
I don't know. I think it just went completely out of style. So, Derek, we have a special guest on us with tonight.
Yes.
Whooping in the background.
Yeah.
Her name is also from Ontario, Canada.
Man, we got the Canadians, man.
I know.
We've had a few.
It's like the British invasion.
Yeah.
Except
Canadian. Canadian invasion.
So, welcome to the show, Tia McGraff. Tia, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, thank you. This is so much fun.
Oh, good.
good. Well, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. Get ready.
Yeah, but we'll do it. We'll do whatever we can.
Yeah.
So, Tia, other than being from Ontario, you are internationally renowned, award-winning Americana singer-songwriter and author. Work with your husband. I'm looking through your bio, and there's just so many things here that sound completely fascinating. Tell our audience who you are.
Yeah. I grew up in southern Ontario, Canada, about an hour and a half southwest of Toronto on the north shore of Lake Erie. And so I actually, I know you guys have a lot of beautiful golf courses in your area.
Yes.
And so I grew up on a golf course. My father and my mother purchased some acreage, and my dad's dream was to build a golf course. So when I was a little girl, he did that, and I grew up on a golf course.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So we have a lot of snowbird. A lot of friends come down there, your neck of the woods in the wintertime, of course, and go golfing. So, yeah.
And you were telling me you got... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Keep going. Sorry.
So I was going to say, when I was about 18 or 19, I really wanted to... I just discovered I had a voice. And I had all this music inside of me, and so I went into what was called the Canadian Open Country Singing Contest, and I ended up winning the Female Open category, and from there I received some free recording time in a studio and some money, and I bought a guitar and taught myself, 3 chords, wrote a song, went and recorded it. It was all very surreal, and next thing I know, I'm getting a call to go down to Toronto and be on a CBC show with Johnny Cash and June Carter.
Wow.
And so it was just kind of, it all just snowballed from there, and I've never looked back.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
With
just 3 chords.
How was Johnny and June? How was that? Were you on a first name basis?
Well, as Harlan Howard would, the 3 chords, as Harlan Howard would say, 3 chords and the truth. That's all you need for a good country song.
That's right.
That's right.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah. And Johnny and June, they were so lovely. I remember my mom and dad took me down to the CBC station, and I heard that their bus was pulling up, and Johnny and June's bus. So I snuck off and I waited backstage, and Johnny came in, and I introduced myself to him, and I was a small town little girl, and he was so wonderful. And during the break, he came up to me and he said, "Would you like to meet June?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he invited me back to June's dressing room, and she was sitting there with curlers in her hair and little slippers on her feet, and I remember he said to me, "June, doesn't she remind you of Roseanne?" And so they were just beautiful people, just very humble. I remember walking away from that whole experience going, wow, the biggest stars in the room were the most humble. And wasn't that something to behold,
Yeah. Well,
that's incredible. I don't, of course, I don't have a story like that. We've met the Goo Goo Dolls a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
Johnny Resnick. Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, Derek has.
Buffalo Boys.
I haven't had. Yeah.
Well, we're both very big Goo Goo Doll fans.
Yeah.
That goes without.
Me too.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
So you'll fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him a bunch of times. Nick's usually at the concert with me, but he doesn't get the backstage.
This guy is on their fan club, and every concert we go to see them, we've been to many.
Yeah.
He seems to always win the VIP meet and greet, and I'm just kind of out in the stands.
Yeah, and I come out, I'm like, they hugged me, they liked me, Nick. We had a good time.
Like, yeah, great.
He's just there, sad, drinking his Coke. Okay.
Yeah. I remember, when their big album came out, I had just moved to Nashville. And so I remember driving back and forth from Ontario to Nashville in my little Saturn car I just bought and cranking Goo Goo Dolls all the way down. I listened to Iris and that, Mm-hmm.
I named my dog Iris.
He did, just recently. He just got a dog.
What kind of dog?
A golden doodle.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So,
we're dog lovers here.
She doesn't act like an Iris, I'll tell you that right now. No, she's crazy. She's crazy dog.
So you lived in Nashville, though. How long were you in Nashville before you made the... You're originally from Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did you move to Nashville to pursue a recording career, or what took you there?
Well, I had been knocking around up in Canada. I'd had a few albums up here, and I'd written and recorded with people like Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive and Dan Hill, and I was at a point where I was just wondering if I wanted to be a recording artist anymore. I've always loved songwriting as well, and so I had the opportunity to go down to Nashville and move there and pursue my songwriting. So I thought, well, I'm just going to hang my artist hat up for a while and go down and pursue songwriting. And when I got down there, I met up with a publisher, music publisher, and he invited me over to his studio to meet some of his writers. And I remember ringing the doorbell, and this gorgeous long-haired guy opens the door. Well, it was Tommy, Tommy Parham, and he was one of their staff writers. And Tommy and I hit it off immediately. And so we started writing together, and then we broke our rule of never date a co-writer, and we started dating.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And just look at you now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had a good time in Nashville. We did a lot of writing, and then at some point, would you remember Slaughter? You remember the group Slaughter?
Yes.
Mark. Mm-hmm. So we're friends with Mark Slaughter, and Mark, we were over at his place recording one night, and he said, Tia, you should get back into your recording career. And there's this whole genre, Americana, now that's taking off, and he lent me Patty Griffin's Living with Ghosts album,
mm-hmm.
and I took it home, and I went, wow, this is incredible, and this is kind of where I've always felt I was, but they didn't know where to put me genre-wise. So, yeah. So we started just recording, Tommy and I, and then we started touring. We've been to England and all over, and the States and Canada, and we're loving what we do. We're true independent artists, just out doing what we do and love it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When you did the writing down in Nashville, how many songs did you have to pump out a week?
Yeah, well, Tommy had the full staff writers deal. So, I mean, those guys were under, you did about 2 sessions a day, and I was freelancing, so I lined up my own sessions. But you'd write in the morning. You'd do like a 10 till 1 or 10 till 12, and then you go for lunch, and then you write in the afternoon. And it was great. They have a thing down there called Writing Up, and that's where you deliberately seek writers that are more established or more better writers, whatever, and you painfully learn from them. But it's great. It's awesome. One of the best things I did.
Painfully.
Yeah.
That's,
I noticed that too.
You bring your words in, you're like, here's my song, and you play it, and they're like, this is garbage. This is the worst. Yeah, and they just get out of my office.
Or, at the end of it, you go, man, did I even contribute anything?
Yeah. And they're like, no, and we're not giving you credit.
They're like,
sorry.
well, we can hang this on the bathroom wall.
Yeah.
Our Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's a learn. It was a real learning experience. Really wonderful.
Yeah. I hear a lot of great things. It's interesting you talk about the genre thing or fitting into a genre. I had a buddy, his name's Jimmy Allen. He's on the up and coming of country. But when he and I were in school together, he and I went to high school, and we did some writing and stuff. But he was like a pop rock guy. He was like Matchbox 20, and I was the Goo Goo Doll guy. Like that. That's how we were. And but he just how rock is right now. Rock's in a weird place where you can't really be mainstream with rock right now. It's you got to be that pop country if you're going to do that, or you're not going to hit the radio waves quite the same way. And he's kind of made that twitch, or that not the twitch, the tweak.
Yeah.
Where he's like, all right, I guess I'll just add a little twang to my voice, and then boom, that was it. And now he's touring the country.
It kind of does make you twitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's right.
Johnny Resnick with a country twang.
Yeah, that's
it. Right. Yeah.
I can't do it. Everybody's like, just do it, man. No, I don't want to be country. No. I don't want to.
All you got to sing about is jeans and trucks.
I know. I hate jeans and trucks. I hate them all.
Hey, but there's some really cool, I'll tell you though, there's some really cool things happening right now. There's some really cool independent rock bands that are out. There's a group from Frankenmuth, Michigan, and the name escapes me right now, but man, we were listening to these, we discovered them, a friend turned us on to them, and so we were watching them on YouTube one night, and they're brothers, and Robert Plant heard them and said, these guys are Led Zeppelin. I hate them. They're fabulous. They're fantastic. So there's some really cool, like, retro, and I really see a retro movement going on. And that's what Tommy and I tried to do with our album, even though we're more Americana. There's a real retro thing going on right now in rock, and I think in Americana country as well. So I think there's going to be some cool things coming out in the next year.
You were referring to Greta Van Fleet, Josh and Sam Kiska.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, that was really good, Nick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, do it.
Yeah.
It's a professional.
I'm impressed.
It's a professional production here today.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've been looking at you, and I just didn't see it. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that in your bio as well. It mentioned that you have played a sold-out show at the Bluebird Cafe.
Yep. Tommy and I play there every year. When we were living in Nashville, we did a few a year, but now we try to do one annual one a year, and the coveted 9 o'clock spot, and
it's really
so
cool.
We have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, wow! When you tour, is it just the two of you?
We try, yes. If we're someplace where we need extra musicians, we will pick them up. And like in Nashville or Texas or Canada, in England, we have some great friends of ours who are great musicians, and so if we need an extra player, we'll pick them up. But most of the time, we go out as a duo, and we do our singer-songwriter thing, and we love to tell the stories behind the songs, and people really like that. We're heading to the UK in September to launch our Stubborn in My Blood album, and we're playing castles, we're playing a couple festivals, and all over Scotland, Wales, England, and we like to play some town halls as well. We've been doing that and building up an audience and selling those out. So we like going in small little towns, and taking music to people that they're excited that, a North American act would bother to come to their little town. And so we might have 150, 160 people there, and they just love it.
Yeah, they seem to really appreciate music over there.
Yeah.
Like they live for the live shows a little more than I think they do here. Like here we bob our heads and we don't really do much, but you go over there, they're like, yeah,
oh yeah,
rock on. It's just passion and life and love.
I lived in Dusseldorf, Germany, for the past 2 years, and I had the pleasure of going to a couple of rock concerts. One of them was Blackberry Smoke. In a concert hall that had no air conditioning and all the windows were closed.
God.
And, of course, everyone was smoking and going completely nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Bonkers, these people. It was really something.
Tommy and I, this is kind of cool. We've got a song that we wrote, and it's called Go Your Own Way, and we wrote it with a songwriter from California, Kevin Fisher, and we found out about 6 weeks ago that an Austrian artist has recorded it, and she's translated it into German.
Oh, wow.
And so you can Google that. It's really cool.
Oh.
And so we were over at my aunt's one night, so she got out her German book and translated it for us, and I think it's now Fly Free or something.
That's so
cool.
It's
really cool, yeah.
What? I mean, it's got to be neat or humbling. I mean, because if you've been a songwriter for a while, so it's one of those like, have you had a lot of that where other people take your song and like, all right, I'm gonna do it my own version of it.
We've had a bit of that, and it's always exciting. It's always a real blessing for us. Tommy had a song recorded by Lee Greenwood, and he did really well with that. We just have a song that we wrote called "Let 'Em See You're Strong," which is on the new album, and I think we're going to maybe talk about that one in a bit, but we'll segue into that. How about that?
Okay. Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
I like the segue.
Okay. We co-wrote this with Devin O'Day, and Devin is in Nashville, and she's got her own radio show, Nashville Today, on WSM Radio, and we were down there visiting Devin, and she had this idea, and she'd started the song, and we just fell in love with it, and she asked us if we would help her finish it, and so we did, and came home and decided that, we wanted to put it on my album, and so we recorded it. We went back down to Nashville, and we recorded it with Catherine Marks, who's Reba's piano player. So she did this amazing piano part on it, and we were going to call my album Strong. And then we received word that an artist down in Nashville has really fell in love with the song, and she has a great producer, and we really believe they can do some big things with it in the country genre with it as well. And she wanted to record it, so we decided that we would call our album "Stubborn in My Blood" instead. So here we are, two artists. I'm going to have mine out, and she'll probably have hers out at the same time. But they're not going to compete against each other because they'll be different genres. So this could be really neat.
Yeah.
Oh, very wild.
We're going to see who wins.
Yeah.
Who makes $1 million first?
First to $1 million, go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, that's right.
So on that note, let's play "Let 'Em See Her Strong" here. This is the one you requested to showcase tonight. Is it okay we go ahead and play it?
Absolutely.
All right, so you're listening to the Echo Radio. We're talking to Tia McGraff, and this is her song, "Let 'Em See Her Strong."
Let 'em see you're strong. Let 'em see you're willing to keep going. Let 'em see your power comes from somewhere they can't fathom. Let 'em see you smile when a tear might serve you better. The road is long. Let 'em see you're strong. Let 'em see your burn. Let 'em know they can't put out your passion. Let 'em see your fire comes from a calling that's forever. Let 'em see you fly So let 'em see your light. Let 'em see how God just keeps you shining. Let 'em see your best. Even when you don't feel like trying, let 'em see a star. You're a star that was born to be a beacon, shining bright. So let 'em see your light. Let 'em see you're strong. Let 'em see your burn. Let 'em see you're strong. Let 'em see your burn. Just let 'em see you're strong. Baby, let 'em see you burn. You're shining bright. So let 'em see your light. The road is long. Yeah. Just let 'em see you're strong.
And that is Let 'Em See Her Strong, Tia McGraff. Tia, I'm going to tell you, beautiful song. Love it.
Yeah, very emotional.
Yeah, on. It says the signal's too weak.
Your internet.
What the hell? But I'm connected. Oh, okay, we're back on. We're back live. Let's try her again. I don't know what happened. The internet must have cut out there for a second.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're back live. And
Hi, you've reached the voicemail of Tia McGraff.
now she's trying to call us.
Yeah.
Wow, this has never happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I apologize to the listeners. We had some kind of a glitch in our internet there for a second. Okay, here we go.
Okay. And we're still live.
Yes, we are live.
Hi.
Tia,
Hi.
can you hear us?
Jeez,
I'm so
I don't
sorry.
know.
I don't know what happened. My internet had some kind of glitch there for a second,
Yeah,
and I
weird.
lost all connectivity.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But,
I think it
live
was-
radio.
Yeah, I know.
There you go, live radio.
Hey.
We actually lost our live feed there for a second, so I apologize. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah. But hey, at least it ended up right when the song ended, and it
Yeah.
looked like a good and I mean, so we didn't lose the song.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
song
that's
got
good.
played
Yeah.
in full, so that's what matters.
But no,
That's right.
we were talking about it being like I like that it was a very minimalist approach, to the song, because you could go crazy with it. You could be like, you know what? Let's bring in a 16-piece orchestra. Let's just go nuts.
Yeah. Big choir, you can bring in a big gospel choir on it.
And then you got to bring in some hip hop artists and really just jazz it up with some electronic drums. You really go nuts with it. But I love that you didn't go that direction.
That's right.
I like it.
Well, that's kind of like what our direction or our genre. Tom and I wanted to keep it minimal and because we're the Americana roots, but like you said, I mean, yeah, I think a great song's a great song, and that's what's so exciting about writing a song, that when someone else hears it and they fall in love with it and they want to make it their own, it's a real honor and a blessing, and that's the way we feel right now. There's also a group of 3 ladies who have a business. They've joined together and started a business. PR firm, I think, in Dallas, Texas, and they've decided to use it as their theme song, and they're very about positive, inspirational messages. So it's getting out there, the song's out there, and that's kind of the thing about a song is when it finds its home, everything clicks and everything in the universe, just kind of propels it forward, which is an exciting ride to be on.
Yeah. When you recorded this song, how long did it take to put this particular song together?
Well, we wrote it with Devin. We wrote it in an evening. it took us probably, maybe an hour and a half to finish it. And then we brought it home, and Tommy and I worked it up, decided what key I want to record it in and everything, and we work on the arrangement. And then we laid it down in our studio, and then took it down to Catherine in Nashville, and decided to record it live with her and me doing a scratch vocal, but we loved the scratch vocal so well that we decided to keep it. And so then we sent over to Colin. I'm sorry, what was that?
That was your scratch vocal?
Yes.
Oh, well, if that's your scratch.
No punch-ins on that. It was like she was so amazing that I was just inspired to just sing, and she, it was just one of those moments.
Well, beautiful. I was trying to pinpoint. I always try to do this when we talk to an artist of who I think you sound like, and I almost hate to do that, but you've got like this Dolly Parton, Trisha Yearwood kind of grow together. Your voice is beautiful. I love it, and it fits that genre very, very well.
Thank you oh my gosh, wow. Both of those ladies are huge. I'm just a huge fan of both of them. And
oh, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I could have gone one way, and she'd be like, "That is offensive, Nick. I will never come on to the Echo Radio Show again."
She's like, "Click."
No, that's an honor. Wow, thank you.
Now, you mentioned that you wrote, and I apologize. Which song did you say you wrote with Lee Greenwood?
No, Tommy wrote a song with his song that he wrote that Lee Greenwood recorded was called "Rocks You Can't Move."
Oh, okay. Because he's topped the country music Billboard more than 35 times. I think he's 20 albums.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy, that's the real deal. So that's pretty impressive name to throw out there.
Yeah. And we've also had some songs in film and TV. And we've got one in the works now that we're kind of just keeping our fingers crossed. And so we wrote a couple songs for that we actually put on the album. And so we're hoping that that's going to happen. You never know, right? It could end up on the editing floor, but but hopefully not. We're just writing, and we're just, you know what, guys, we're just really enjoying. We stopped trying to chase the music row thing in Nashville. That can drive you crazy. You try to write for whoever's looking for songs at that particular time, and by the time you write the song and demo it, they've already moved on. And so we just started doing our own thing, and now we're having fun, much more fun, and just when things happen, they happen, and in the meantime, we're just loving making our music.
Now, I read that you have 7 CD releases. Is this the 7th?
I think this is the 8th.
8th, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I lost count.
and it said in your bio that you were nominated in 2016 for the Best Americana at the Grammys.
Well, yeah, we received a first-round Grammy nomination for Crazy Beautiful for our CD, and it was in the first-round Grammy nomination for Americana, and that was a really, really cool blessing. And the album itself, it's kind of funny because every time we title an album, it kind of life emulates the title of the album, and that was Crazy Beautiful. And we released that in 2015, and for the last 3 years, I mean, it was Crazy Beautiful. We were all over the place playing and making music. This one now is called Stubborn in My Blood, and already, it's like we're fighting, and it's got some powerful messages in it, and I can already see where this is hopefully going to take us, and it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just we're in awe here. It's cool to meet someone that's got this kind of resume.
Yeah, when for music that you've put out in, like, say, TV shows or movies, commercials, do you have any? What I guess, which one was you most proud of?
Yeah.
In you mean in anything that I've done?
Sure.
With the music or
Sure.
okay. Gee.
You're on the spot. You're
Yeah.
on the hot seat.
Don't- I know.
Yeah.
I know. You got to get ready for these. These are hard
That's
hitters.
right.
Yeah. Wow. I think, I've got to say, Crazy Beautiful was, the whole album itself was pretty cool, because that was the one that Tommy and I just decided to get out there and hit the road. And Crazy Beautiful, the title track, we wrote it based on the story about Sarah Burke, the Canadian freestyle skier.
Okay. Oh.
And so we had seen her memorial service on TV, and they were doing some skiing down the hill with candles and everything. And then they were showing clips of her jumps and things that she had done. And so that's what inspired the song. Mm. And when we were out performing this song, everything from little girls, little boys, would be crying, or they would come up and they'd say, "That's my story." That's to adults, and it inspired so many people. And I think that's what made me so proud, was that we had accomplished and written something that was actually making people feel like they wanted to pursue their dream, and it was inspiring them and moving them. And we received letters from people, letters from fans telling us this. And that to me is what makes me proud. It's not, I don't even like award shows or anything like that. It's like, I don't care about that. I just want to know that we're writing and creating music that's making people happy or feel something, feel connected. It's about connecting, in this crazy world right now. And a friend of mine in England said something to me the other day, which I thought was so cool. She said, Tia, the reason I love music is because we can go sit with a group of strangers in a theater, and for 2 hours we're all connected and we're all sharing the same moment and forgetting about what's going on in the world outside. And that's, to me, what makes me want to get up in the morning and write another song.
Well, speaking of being proud, now there's another project that you're working on, or I guess you finished. Tell us about your children's book. Yeah,
so it was always on my bucket list to write a children's book, and I didn't know what I was going to write about. And then when Tommy and I lived in Nashville, we rescued Jake. He's part husky and part Australian Shepherd, and he's just beautiful. And he was in the shelter, and he was one day away from, and we rescued him. We found him, and we brought him home, and he had a hard time fitting in with he was so shy and everything. And so we had all these stories about taking Jake on the road and how he fit into the family and all this. And one day we were backstage with some writers at a festival, and we were all talking about our road dogs and how important our road dogs are to musicians, to traveling musicians. They keep us grounded. They make us feel at home when we're missing home and whatever. And I thought, wouldn't this be a cool idea for a children's book, the life of a musician only through the dog's eyes, the road dog's eyes. And
awesome.
Yeah, so I wrote my book, and last year I was kind of a little bit stuck in my songwriting, so Tommy suggested I write my children's book, so I did. And I finished it. It's a chapter book, and I self-published it, and so I've been taking it into some bookstores and libraries and schools, and there's a local chapter where we live of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And for those of you who don't know about that, Dolly has donated over 1 million books worldwide in her name of her organization to help children read. And so we're involved with some organization, some fundraisers up here, and donating some proceeds from my book sales to that as well.
Oh, I'm sitting here looking at the cover of it. With I guess that's your dog looking out the window?
That's Jake, yeah, looking out the window.
Very cool. That's very, very cool. Yeah, what a cool thing. When did you actually, put it on the market?
I finished it last fall, and so I found a local manufacturer, and these guys are awesome. I just I sent them the manuscript, and I said, I don't know what to do next. I mean, this is my first book, and so the graphic designer Terry was brilliant, and so he took my pictures and that picture on the front and everything, and they put it into a book form and created a little map. I said I'd like a map of Jake's journey in it across the I-40 from Nashville out to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and so they did that, and I put a CD in the back with 3 songs on it, including Crazy Beautiful, and so they put it together for me, and it's been its own journey. It's been a beautiful journey itself, touching children's lives. And we just recently did a library where a gentleman came up, and he had Alzheimer's, and his daughter said he was going into a home the next day, and so we gave him a book and signed it and took pictures, and it was just really beautiful, Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing story. Really, really cool. The career that you've had. So, and now you've got this new release, and so about to go out on tour. Very, very exciting. That's very, very cool.
Busy.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah, I think that's what comes to mind the most.
I know. Yeah, it's I can't stop and think how busy I am, or I'll, might have a meltdown or something. But but I'll tell you though, I truly appreciate the opportunity to share my story with your listeners, and it's especially independent artists. It's so hard to get out there nowadays and be heard above all the noise that's out there. And so when radio stations and shows will give us the opportunity to share our story, I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's what we decided we wanted to do, was try to showcase independent artists, whether that be musicians or authors, or we've got some actors coming in next week. I mean, it's what we do. So we're glad that you wanted to come on. I know that Michael he's been great to work with, by the way, Michael Stover, and He told me that you may not be available tonight, so I was very excited when you said you would go ahead and come on. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. Michael's great. He's wonderful. He's wonderful to work with, and thank you.
Well, Tia, do us a favor for our listeners. Go ahead and take the moment to promote yourself. Where can the listeners see you, get a hold of you, upcoming shows? Lay it out there for our listeners.
Okay. Of course, you can find me on the internet. It's tiamcgraff.com, and TIAMCGRAFF as in Frank.com. And when you go there, we're working on the website right now, revamping it. So, but you can go in there and see all our shows and buy the CD. You can also find me, of course, on Facebook and Instagram. I'm terrible with Instagram, but you can find me on Facebook.
Me too.
We have the Tia McGraff North American Fan Club, and we love, what Tommy and I love is when people find us on Facebook, and then we have our fans from all around the world following us and sharing pictures, so that when we're in England in September, all our friends back here in the States and Canada can be following along with us, like we're all part of the journey, all in the bus together, right? And so we invite everyone to just come find us, and you can buy my music through there. You can buy my book, Jake the Road Dog, through there as well.
And as we do with all of our artists, at our website, totheecho.com, we have a blog post of all of our artists, so we will have your links and your headshot and your bio and all will be on a blog post at our website.
Very soon.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Tia. That's what we got for you. Thanks so much for coming on tonight, and we wish you all the best with your European tour. And good luck.
So cool.
Yeah, thanks, guys, and we'll have to talk when we get back sometime, and we'll catch up on everything. And
Absolutely.
See how things are going.
You're welcome back anytime, and if you have something else you want to promote, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you again.
Yep.
Okay. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, that was Tia McGraff, Derek.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
It is. Man, good stories.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just cool. I mean, it's good insight for anybody who's listening, whether you're just interested in the process, if you're a songwriter yourself, and kind of like, well, there you go, you know, kind of the things that you do. She's not conforming to, you know, a record label, doing it themselves, and they're going out there and they're touring and they're writing songs and
Big
they're
tours.
out there, and they're publishing and they're doing stuff, you know. You know, it's inspiring because it's just, you know, you have control. You have a lot of more control than you think you do. You know how many people I'm friends with, like, I can't wait, I need a record deal to do anything. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
I mean,
you lose a lot when you do that.
That's right. Some people gain so much more if they just do it themselves, especially in that situation. Like, she has control over that whole thing.
You know,
it's really cool that she met her, you know, met Tommy, like, being a songwriter.
I know.
It's kind of cool.
And how wild is that to actually meet someone from Songwriter Row in Nashville? I mean, you hear stories about these guys, but there they are right there, not in the flesh because she was on the phone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
It's disappointing, too. My wife and I are big fans of Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know his songs.
Yeah.
Toes and all those other songs. They're all very good. But anyway, he owned his own record label, Southern Ground. Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of these bands that we like so much, Blackberry Smoke and several others, came from. And he, a couple of years ago, closed up shop, fired all the bands, and sold out to Warner.
Why?
I have no idea.
Fired all the bands?
Yes, they like Blackberry Smoke, they had a big falling out because he basically called them up and said, sorry, closing the label.
Wow.
Good luck. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Really disappointing. And I tell you, I love their older albums because he built his band. You can, like, his very first album, it was just him doing all the vocals, and you can tell that it's him overlaying his vocals for the harmonies and everything. Yeah. And as he built his band, more people started contributing to the albums. They really evolved into something cool. And then when they hit the Warner label, they came out with this, it's almost like a rock kind of thing, and they have their show now, they wear like masks, and they look like dragons running around on stage. Very strange. The whole persona of the band completely changed when he went mainstream. I mean, he was always mainstream because it was popular.
Right. But once you have a big company like Warner,
you can tell they're telling him what to do.
Yeah. They're like, why don't you try this? And it just kind of takes the creativity out of them.
It's really a bummer.
Yeah.
And I haven't bought any albums since because they're just not very good.
It's always interesting hearing the stories. If you ever get a chance, the iTunes originals on if you have Apple Music or if you have just money to buy those. Some bands really tell this story. It's funny, like with Stained. You remember that band?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Aaron Lewis.
Yeah, but it's really funny. He would talk about, like, well, we'd write our album, I'd take it to the label, and they'd be like, well, there's no single here. You got to write a single. And he's like, okay. And he goes and writes a pop single. Like, all right. Like, no, all right, we'll go knock it out in the afternoon and just put it on there, and that's the hit, you know? Yeah. And he's like... and he said, like, in the beginning, they would keep doing that. They would say, hey, you don't have a single here. And he's like, well, by the end of it, I knew I had to write a single, and that'd be the last thing I do. And
you can tell with Stained specifically, because if you go listen to some of their very old albums, it's much, much harder.
Yeah.
Break the Cycle really kind of changed the tone of the band.
Yeah.
And then he started singing a lot of those slower songs, which are still good.
Yeah.
He's a great singer. Yeah. It's cool to see him live because he likes to do covers, and he's very does a lot of country kind of stuff.
Well, he's country now, but he and he talks about that story too. He was like, well, I'd go off and do acoustic gigs because that's how I'd make money. He'd play the bars all the time, and
he's great. Yeah. He's great acoustically.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I mean, I just not to go off topic entirely, but it is just interesting how, you know, you get kind of molded that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it, you know, my buddy, you know, because we referred to him, Jimmy Allen. I mean, he had another band called Color of London for a while, so I know he was doing co-writing in that, and he wasn't trying to be like just Jimmy Allen.
Yep.
But ultimately, that's what broke him, as being Jimmy Allen, and he could be that artist. But he co-writes a bunch of songs. I remember back when he was just writing his songs, because, you know, back in high school, I was writing mine, he was writing his. We did the talent show, and, you know, we're boom, No, it's just funny because and I think I was in college at one point, and he would play a show, and he would be like, "Hey, you want to open up for me?" I'd be like, always, support him any way I could, because he was always a good performer, good player. But it is really cool to see him. He's a country artist. His big song right now is called "Best Shot," and it's climbing up the charts in country. And he just opened up for Toby Keith in Delaware. And,
we got to try to get him on the show.
I know. I just call him and say, "Hey, you got a Sunday available?"
Yeah. That's the one good thing about this show is we do it Sunday evenings.
Yeah.
Most people aren't doing anything on Sunday evening.
Usually. Maybe
Friday or Saturday evening, but not Sunday.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
I'm curious because he is under label representation now. I'm curious to see if I do reach out to him, if he will say, yeah, I can do it, or, well, here's my label, to let them figure it out with you. And then the label sends rules and things, because they'd have to listen to our show and say, well, I don't know if we want to associate your brand with that. It's always funny, because we're not exactly PC.
No, not exactly. But when we have our artists on, we're pretty tame.
Yeah, we're tame with the artists.
Yeah.
Our other show, we can be nuts, but I don't know.
I think we have a good interviewing method down.
Yeah. Well, I think we're naturally curious about people. I mean, if you got a story to tell,
that's what I want to hear on the show. That's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
Is tell us your story. I mean, it's been incredible. If we think back now to all the people we've had on here, it's really something.
A lot of cool bands. And, I talked about how rock's not really in, and I mean that from a mainstream standpoint. Mainstream radio, mainstream rock's not in right now. It's really country rock. But it is interesting to see things come through, and we've had some good bands that come through here who just had really neat stuff, like Drawn Together and
Business Suit, Blue Frequency, Catherine Berry.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't even remember.
I know, we got so many now.
We've had a lot. We really have had a lot. So it's pretty impressive when we think back to our humble beginnings doing a cartoon.
Silver Snails and
Silver Snails.
I still get his song stuck in my head all the time.
It's a great song.
Great across the stars.
And he listens a lot too.
Yeah, it just pops up in my head.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's a great song.
Yeah. It's cool little music video. Man, he was committed to that makeup.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't do that.
Love it. It's like the Blue Man Group, only silver.
Yeah, right. That's right. If you don't know what we're talking about, you can go through our archives and all our episodes. You should. On totheecho.com, there's an episodes tab, and I have links to every single one of our episodes dating back to April 1st.
Yep. April 1st.
Which is our quote-unquote first episode, because we had an episode before that where we were just figuring stuff out, making sure sounds didn't suck.
That's why it doesn't have a title.
So it's called To the Echo 4-1-18, you know, and then from there we got into like Star Wars Roseanne, and because this is our 31st episode, and 30 seconds next. It's so far so good. I like it.
I'm having a blast.
I'm looking forward to next week and us meeting some local guys. I think that's really cool, too. What we've been doing is opening up the door to local. Because when Nick and I started, he and I essentially kind of set that rule, like, well, we don't want to just lock ourselves to Charleston because I think it limits our market, or it limits who we can go after or show our stuff to. Because it's not fun if 90% of our audience is listening not in Charleston and we're making a ton of references to the city.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, it is really cool that, well, they live in town. They can come in studio. We can talk to them. And we can make those references every once in a while.
And I think it'll help to have a local buzz. Yeah.
Yeah. Because before you know it, then we'll be those guys who show up to the games. Ladies and gentlemen, we have To the Echo radio show host, Nick O'Kelly and Derek Daisy coming in. And we'll be like, hi. We got our hats and we're eating popcorn with the number one finger.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. Yeah. The thing is, that would be cool is if we had a big enough buzz around town. There are a lot of iHeartRadio radio stations, several FM stations that are musically inclined. There's the Bridge over there that do a lot with indie artists and things. So I think we could fit in, and it would be really cool to be on an FM station.
It would. Somebody did ask me, have we gotten tickets to any of these things for free yet? And I was like, well, no. I mean,
it's coming.
Yeah, we're gonna get them.
We get a big enough following, which we're on our way.
Yeah.
We can start reaching out as media people.
I mean, it's not hard to do. We just gotta get a couple microphones for our phones and
Well, I have a whole mobile set.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, I mean, we have the podcast. Of course, I gave your sister the other one, but we can get another USB mic we could take. This board is small enough. I mean, you know, we can figure it out.
Time for you to invest money in a laptop.
But I already have one really good USB mic, and it's not very expensive to get another one. We could just take a laptop, 2 USB mics. There you go.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And that would be cool to do some media events.
Yeah. Well,
but before we run out of time, we didn't get to play this last week.
Okay.
So let's take a quick break because I've been wanting to.
Oh yeah.
I want to do this commercial.
I know. I was thinking about it.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to close the show.
Okay.
To the Echo. Are you wanting to become an online shopper, but you're not sure which website to shop at or what to buy?
I sure do wish I could buy all of my items online, but there's just too many options. How will I ever decide?
Do you find yourself confused and overwhelmed by the vast amount of variety, goods, and services available to you? But narrowing it down just seems too great a task?
If only there was a way to get a sampling of what I can buy before I actually shop. Something like a retail store. That would be the bomb.
Well, my friends, I'm here today to give you the online store.
What's that?
It's a retail store conveniently located right downtown where you can decide what you want to buy online.
What do you mean?
You see, we have a physical storefront where you can come in, take a look around at all of the possibilities found online, write down what you want, and then leave.
You mean I can't buy anything?
No! We only sell keyboards and notepads. That way, you can write down what you want, buy a keyboard, and then go home and use it to type in the items online for purchase.
Well, that sounds dumb.
It is! But what else can you do with retail stores these days, except to see what's available online?
I guess that's true.
So come on down to the online store, shop around, get the hell out, and go home and buy it.
I love the online store.
The online store, found in the center of your decaying downtown today. I personally guarantee you'll love the online store. So much, you'll probably never come back. So why not give it a try today?
Let's head on down to the online store.
The online store. We're here for you to go shop online. I'm sorry.
It reminds me of the eBay store in the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's completely pointless.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a reason why you've done this.
Yeah, we went to Home... I think we maybe even talked about it, but we went to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And the customer service was just bafflingly bad.
Yeah.
That I went in ready to buy.
Yeah.
And you see what I have on my porch now.
Yeah.
A couple of nice chairs and a table. You know where I got them?
Where?
Sam's Club.
There you go. Yeah, because you walked into this Home Depot, you're like, oh, a chair. See, yes, sir. My good sir. Hello. Hi, I'm Nicholas O'Kelly of To the Echo Radio Show. Yes, I'd like to purchase these things here. And he looks at you like you're a moron. Yeah, we don't sell that in the store. You got to order it.
Yeah, you got to order it online.
Oh.
What?
No, I'm Nicholas O'Kelly from To the Echo Radio Show. I just want these. I'll take the discount on the floor model. No, we don't do that.
Didn't even offer to sell me the floor model.
Yeah. What I could ask you to do, sir, is get the fuck out of my store. You can order this shit online.
That's pretty... The funny thing was, he was one of the people at the customer service area.
Yeah.
And we asked, hey, is there someone who could help us with the lawn furniture? He said, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. It took him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he literally said, look, I got to get back. We don't sell this here, though, so have a nice day. And I'm like,
wow.
What?
I would complain. I would call Home Depot and be like, that is not customer service.
I should have tweeted. Tweeted Home Depot, but the thing is, I think he was a manager.
That's not good.
So I was blown away.
Yeah.
That literally the only reason that that's and we walked away and said to ourselves, well, what's the purpose of the store? And the answer was to see what they have online.
Well, I mean, then essentially it's kind of like an IKEA store. You see everything set up. I mean, at least in IKEA, it's a big warehouse of stuff. You can buy it and take it home.
Like Sam's Club.
Yeah, but that makes no sense.
I was blown away, and I haven't been back to a Home Depot after that because why would I?
Yeah, no,
why would I go?
It doesn't make sense. You can just look online at that point.
And that's what I said. Is that it's for me? I do like buying things online, but I don't want to have to buy everything
things
online.
you want to buy in person.
Yeah,
like,
I want to see it.
Like you and I were, like I'm thinking about getting this, one of these mics, and I want to trade in some stuff. I'm like, well, that mic is in that store, and I'm ready to go. I want to trade it in, get the microphone, be done. I don't want to have to get the money and then go online and order the stupid thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's very annoying.
I would rather pay the tax if I can get it today in store than wait 3 days because nobody can carry it.
And that's my problem. I'm sitting here saying to myself, should I just order? We talked about this for our guest next week.
Yeah.
I need to have a headphone adapter box where you can, put 4 headphones into it.
Yep.
Not just a splitter and, a couple cables to go with that. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope they have it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to order it online like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm almost worried about waiting because then I may not have it. I mean, it's not like Radio Shack exists anymore.
Yeah.
And these are basic cables.
Yeah.
But the last time I was at Guitar Center to get our insert cables for the compressor, they didn't have the 1/4 inch. I had to get adapters. They had an 1/8 inch they had the insert cable, but as you can see, I've got 2 eighth inch to 1/4 inch adapters plugged into the inserts on the board because they didn't have the 1/4 inch cable. It was the only one out of stock. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh, the one cable.
I know.
I mean, it works, but it's, I wanted the cable, not adapters.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Fail.
Yeah, and it's getting very annoying that all retail stores are like this. You go to a Best Buy nowadays, they don't have half the crap you're looking for.
Well, and that's why Amazon is putting everybody out of business. Because, Amazon might not have the storefront, but they do the online thing very well, and everybody else can't even do this storefront right.
I mean, we get critical of Amazon because they are so big and it's basically a monopoly, but you can't really blame them. Yeah. They're the only ones doing it right.
Did you do anything for Amazon Prime Day?
No, I actually didn't see it till day of. I didn't know about it, honestly.
I texted you about it, you jerk.
You did?
Well, I told you I was getting cameras on Prime Day.
Oh.
Security cameras.
Now I understand. I saw that you said that, but I didn't know why it was that day.
Yeah, because it's cheap. It's cheap as hell. Yeah, I got these little security cameras by Blink.
Yeah.
They run on AA batteries, and they last for 2 years, and they're cableless, so you can just put them wherever you want, and then it'll connect to this little wireless router, and you can look at it on your phone. If you have I have an Amazon Show now. Oh. The screen version.
Oh, cool.
That. Yeah, it's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, so we got an alarm system here that works with alarm.com.
Yeah.
So our doorbell camera is Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And we have a Bluetooth camera for our dog, but you have to plug it in. It doesn't run on batteries, but I can see it on my phone app, so that's kind of cool. But the battery powered would be much better.
Yeah, it is because 2 years AA battery.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm in, and I was able to get 2 of them for in the house for $100.
AA, still tried and true.
Yeah,
after all these years. You think that they would come up with something, but it's just such a good battery.
It is. That's right. What is it about the AA, man?
I don't know. You use it for everything.
I mean, AAAs, they're okay. It's only when you need something smaller, but AA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
boom
the
diggity.
one. You can never have you never have them when you need them.
Yes, never.
And if you keep them in stock in your house, they'll go bad.
Yeah.
So.
And I have rechargeable ones, and I'm too damn lazy to charge them.
Yeah, I know. I gave that up a long time ago.
I have the AAA ones, and I bought like a big box of AAA. Because AAAs, you never have any, ever.
No, I definitely not.
But my scale uses them. My TV remote uses them, and they're all dying right now. And I'm like,
I hate that.
I
always steal from other remotes.
Yeah, and I have a quick charge. Like I have the thing that you put the batteries in, it charges it 15 minutes, it's done. But I don't care.
I like to get Energizer Industrial AA.
Wow.
Best AA ever.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Even if it only takes AAA, doesn't matter. You're going to squeeze that stupid battery in there.
No, but if you get the Industrial, it's like a silver battery. That thing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Love it. It's worth the money.
I would love to know why they make all these other different types of batteries. Why not just stick to one stupid battery?
Standardize.
Yeah.
I don't want D. I don't want C.
Yeah.
I don't want triple.
You know what C is? It's just a bigger AA.
And don't even get me started on button cell.
Yeah,
you know how many button cell batteries I sold at Radio Shack? No. I knew almost every single number. By the time I quit that job.
Yeah.
I knew where they were on the wall. I knew the number. People came in and said, I got this battery thing up. It's here, 2032. Have a nice day.
2032. Wow.
That's the most popular button cell.
Okay. I didn't know that.
If you go look at any button cell you got in the house, I bet it's a 2032.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't. All right.
Yeah.
You know better than me.
That's all I know.
I never worked at Radio Shack.
I know.
You wanted me to, but I think the only time, remember I visited you at Radio Shack because the Goo Goo Dolls were playing the HD. It was HD
that's
and
right.
like direct TV.
That was the Red Rocks.
Yeah, Red Rocks
That
concert.
is one of his. The first half of that.
Yeah.
John looks asleep.
Yeah.
And then he gets into it.
Yeah,
like halfway through.
It was like the most boring concert I've ever seen on air.
Yeah.
Like, of all the ones to do on HD.
He's playing Long Way Down, and it's just like, whatever. It sucks.
Why did that happen?
and then halfway through, something switches, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just mad.
Yeah.
I imagine they had a fight.
Yeah.
Right
I
before
think
the
so.
show.
I've been to shows where it's like that with him.
Yeah.
He loosens up by the end, but in the beginning he looks like he wants to punch us all in the face.
Yeah, like when we saw him at the tennis stadium, and he
Yeah.
came out with like the hat on.
Yeah, I know. And I
He
met
looked
him.
sick.
I met him right before that, and he looked rough, and he was not happy to meet me.
Yeah.
he just like, dude,
He
just
looked bad that night.
Yeah, he's like, get the fuck away from me.
But by the time they played Lazy Eye,
Yeah.
they were killing it.
Yeah.
It was really a good performance.
Yeah, it was just so hot.
Yeah, it was very, very hot. He looked sick.
Yeah,
Maybe he was sick.
Maybe he was. Maybe.
Well, Derek, that's our show.
Yeah, totheecho.com, Twitter, tweet us at To The Echo Radio. I don't know. Rate us on iTunes.
Yes, please.
Please
And
rate
subscribe.
us. Subscribe. Write a review. Write something nice. Hey, even if you've been an artist on our show, you're allowed to write reviews about us, you know.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say that, hey, I had a good time on that show, and that Derek Daisy's a one sexy mofo. You're allowed to say things like that.
We're looking at you, Tia.
Yeah. You don't have to. You're married. It's okay. Don't tell Tommy.
Well, Catherine, then.
Yeah,
Somebody.
Catherine, one of you guys.
They all listen.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Just do it. But outside of that, we'll be around on Wednesday. We got a great show for you. If you don't hear us on that show, well.
Yeah. And you don't have your speakers turned up.
Yeah, turn it up, dummy.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But speaking of listening, we do have one more song that we'll play the show out with.
Yeah.
From Tia McGraff. Go check her out.
Yes.
Fantastic story, incredible career. The music is fantastic. You're going to like this song.
Yeah.
This is called Pilot of Change. So this is off of her new album, Stubborn in the Blood, which is actually a song on the album. It's also a pretty good song.
Very good.
So we'll see you Wednesday night.
See you Wednesday night.
Have a great night from To The Echo
Radio Show.
Yep.
I was on a broken road, busted, feeling sorry for myself, trusted no one or anything at all. When I saw her sitting in a cornfield with her back against the world and eyes peeled on the stars, watching them fall. I said, excuse me, but what are you doing? It's after midnight and this seems kind of strange. She said, I'm listening to the sound of corn growing. Does me good, it's quiet in this place. And sometimes you just need some space to sit by yourself and rearrange every constellation, every sign, until you find a way of flying away. Be a pilot of change. A pilot of change. I said, but I don't know where to get started. So beaten up and broken hearted, do the stars know where I've been? That I had my chance and I missed it. Now it's too late to try and fix it. Can they show me